Early this year, I attended a program where I saw my dad as well. And as the activities went by, we got to the section where we had to share our hats with our friends and people around us. Fortunately for me, because I had my dad around, I was asked to carry on that session with my dad, telling each other how happy and grateful we were to meet each other this year and apologizing for the wrongs we've ever done, the ones we are about to do, knowing and unknowingly, and telling each other how much we need them this year and the ones ahead. As I listened to my dad explaining his deepest heart about all these things, I couldn't help my eyes. My eyes were just tearing. That is when I got to realize my dad's deepest heart. You might be wondering what this story has to do with our book reading. I tell this story because without sharing our hearts and without knowing the deepest hearts of the people around us, we will not be able to give and also receive each other's hearts. Don't forget, we are still on the book Navigating the Hearts, Who is Dragging You, written by Dr. Oxenbach, whose purpose is to give joy and hope to our youth in the world. And most importantly, don't forget to leave your comments, like, and share to other friends. Let's embark on our book reading. This story that I am going to tell you is a true story. During the Korean War, many soldiers died in the fight between North Korea and South Korea. When the fighting was at its fiercest, there was a woman who was living in Los Angeles. One night, around midnight, her home phone rang. She answered the phone and said, "Hello." "Mom, it's me, John." She was shocked. John was her only son, and he was fighting in the Korean War. She always became very anxious when she heard about the news of how many American soldiers were dying in the war. But now she was receiving this phone call from her son. "Is this really you, John?" she asked. "Yes, mother, it's me," John replied. "Where are you right now?" "I just arrived at the Los Angeles airport." "Really? How is your health?" "I am fine and I'm healthy." The woman was so happy. She said, "John, thank you so much for being alive. Now hurry up and come home." "Mother, I am with my friends right now, but I'll come home tomorrow morning." "All right then, I'll be waiting for you. Please come home quickly." His mother was about to hang up the phone, but John continued to talk. "Mother, there is a friend that I want to bring home with me." "Sure, bring him over. Who is he?" "He's a friend I fought together with in the war. He stepped on a landmine on the battlefield, so he's missing a leg, an arm, and he has lost an eye as well." "Oh, how terrible. Sure, let him come over and enjoy himself and get some good rest at our house for about a week. Then we can let him go home." "Mother, I was hoping that I could live the rest of my life with this friend of mine, What are you talking about? I guess the war has made you extremely sentimental. Think about it. He's missing an arm and a leg. So, how is he going to use the restroom? How is he going to use and take a shower? If you live with this kind of person for a long time, it will eventually become extremely uncomfortable for you. Later on, you will become irritated with such an arrangement. Just let him stay for a little while and let him go home. But mother, I need to live with this friend. Can't he just come and live with me? I'm sure that on the battlefield, you may have such emotions. But when you actually see the reality of the situation, it's not going to be the way you imagined. It will be best if you send him home later on. Okay, mother. It's the right thing to do. Mother. Yes? Please take care of yourself. Why are you saying goodbye? Just hurry up and come home. Mother? What, son? Mother, please be healthy, okay? Okay, hurry up and come home. She hung up the phone, completely overwhelmed by the fact that her son, who had gone to war, had made it back alive. She quickly went into her son's room, cleaned and organized it. She could not fall asleep. She then took out the iron and began to iron her son's clothes nicely and neatly. She then hung them up in his closet and she placed flowers next to his bed. Her happiness could not be expressed in words. It had been such a long time she had felt this kind of happiness. She went to the kitchen and began to cook the food she wanted to give her son. Sunrise was still a long way off, but as she waited for her son, she was filled with nothing but joy as she cooked for him. Finally, day began to break. Time passed. 8 in the morning, then 9 in the morning, but her son still had not come home. The woman was dying inside because she wanted to see her son so badly. What is this boy doing? Why has he not come home? First 10 o'clock, then 11 o'clock. But still, her son had not come home. These young boys are so busy hanging out with their friends. They must have lost their minds. It became noon, and at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, she heard the phone ring. Why is this boy not coming home and calling me again? She thought and picked up the phone. Hello, she answered. It was the voice of a stranger. Excuse me, is this John's house? Yes, it is. Are you John's mother? Yes, I am. Who is this? This is the police. Your son jumped to his death from his hotel room. We need you to come quickly to the hospital as soon as you can. The woman thought she was dreaming. My son, who had just returned from the battlefield, is dead? What is this? She could not believe it was all real. She'd had a difficult time believing that her son was alive and back in the first place. But now, my son, who said he could be home soon, is dead? The woman drove her car as fast as she could to the hospital. The police were waiting for her. They guided her to a room in the hospital. There was a solitary bed in the room. A man was lying on top of the bed, completely covered in a white sheet. The police removed the sheet, and the woman was shocked. The person lying on the bed was surely her loving son, John, but he was missing an eye, and his face was filled with scars. He was also missing an arm and a leg. The lady held her dead son and cried, John! John! Why didn't you tell me that it was you? Why didn't you tell your mother it was you? As part of the UN forces, John fought in the Korean War and on the Eastern battlefields. He stepped on a landmine in the middle of a battle. Fortunately, he did not die instantly, but he was severely wounded. The medics took John, who was unconscious, and transported him to a hospital. When John regained his consciousness and recovered, he tried to move his legs, but he had no feeling in one of them. He looked down and could not see one of his legs. He was missing an arm, and he had lost an eye as well. John was then moved to the hospital in Okinawa, Japan, where he continued to receive treatment and was eventually sent back to America. On the flight to Los Angeles, John fell into a very deep thought. When I left healthy, but now I am returning a cripple. When I arrive in America with this body, will my friends like me? Even in his own eyes, he looked so scary and ugly. It seemed as if his friends would not like him this way. Tom, Matthew, Andrew, one by one, as he thought of his friends, it seemed as if not one of them would welcome him home or be happy to see him. It was apparent that his girlfriend would dislike him even more. John finally thought about his mother. No matter what anyone else says in this world, Mother will surely still love me. But as he looked at himself, he lost all his courage again. No, how could my mother like me? This is what I have become. My mother may not even be able to love me. After he came out of the airport, John wanted to know his mother's heart. So he gave her a phone call. Mother, I have a friend. This friend stepped on a landmine on the battlefield. He's missing an arm and a leg, and he only has one eye left. I want to live the rest of my life with this friend. I have to live the rest of my life with him. But his mother's voice that he heard over the phone was cold. Hey, you have become sentimental since you have gone to the war. Think about it. How is he going to use the bathroom if he is missing an arm and a leg? How is he going to shower? You are going to become irritated and uncomfortable staying with him. After all, you are going to feel burdened. Let him stay with you for a while and then send him away to the house. Upon hearing those words, John misjudged his mother's heart. I will be a burden to my mother. Mother will be irritated with me. Mother will become uncomfortable with me. If that's the case, there is not a single person who will want to receive me. Then, what is the point of living? Ultimately, John chose to kill himself. His mother, on the other hand, clung to her son who had died this way, crying out, John, why didn't you tell me it was you? If you had lost an arm and a leg, I would have become your arm. I would have become your leg. It would have been such an honor for me. This is how we mostly misunderstand and misjudge others' hearts according to the words we listen from them without finding out precisely the deepest of their hearts. So, as I told you my experience and my encounter with my father's deepest heart, I wish and I believe you will also get in touch with the heart of others around you, parents, be it relatives, friends, or anyone around you. With this, we can disease from being isolated, and suicidal rates will definitely reduce. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Till we meet again, it's a bye bye.